Cuando escribí la novela, era bastante disruptivo hablar del aborto en la Argentina y en los términos en que habla la novela, y sobre todo de esta posibilidad de una mujer de decir no quiero tener un hijo, no quiero ser madre, quiero tener otro tipo de vida. Eso no era tan común, o no era común. Si bien por supuesto que había literatura al respecto, no era un tema que se hablara.
Elena Knows is about a woman named Elena who has advanced Parkinson's disease and whose daughter was found hanging from the church bell tower. It's an open and shut case of suicide as far as everyone is concerned, but Elena knows that's not possible. Claudia's writing is impeccable, so pretty much everything was perfectly clear, and I didn't have to bother her with a single question. But the biggest challenge probably was just living through a day in the life of Elena, over and over, translating it. You have to read it several times, and it's kind of hard to go through all those details of her grief and her suffering so many times.
The trick is to lift up the right foot, just a few centimetres off the floor, move it forward through the air, just enough to get past the left foot, and when it gets as far as it can go, lower it. That's all it is, Eleanor thinks. But she thinks this, and even though her brain orders the movement, her right foot doesn't move. It does not lift up. It does not move forward through the air. It does not lower back down. It's so simple, but it doesn't do it. So Eleanor sits and waits in her kitchen. She has to take the train into the city at 10 o'clock. The one after that, the 11 o'clock, won't do because she took the pill at 9, so she thinks, and she knows, that she has to take the 10 o'clock train right after the medication has managed to persuade her body to follow her brain's orders. Soon. The 11 o'clock train won't do because by then the medicine's effect will have diminished and almost disappeared, and she'll be back to where she is now, but without any hope that the levodopa will take effect. Levodopa is the name for the chemical that will begin circulating in her body once the pill is dissolved. She's known that name for a while now. Levodopa. The doctor said it, and she wrote it down for herself on a piece of paper because she knew she wasn't going to understand the doctor's handwriting. She knows that the levodopa is moving through her body. All she can do now is wait. She counts the streets. She recites the names from memory, from first to last and last to first. Lupo, Moreno, 25 de Mayo, Mitre, Rocca. Rocca, Mitre, 25 de Mayo, Moreno, Lupo. Levodopa. It's only 5 blocks to the train station. It's not that many, she thinks, and she continues reciting the street names and continues waiting. 5. She can't yet shuffle down those 5 blocks, but she can silently repeat the street names. She hopes she doesn't run into anyone she knows today. No one who will ask after her health or give her their belated condolences over the death of her daughter. Every day there's some new person who couldn't make it to the vigil or the burial, or who didn't dare to, or didn't want to. When someone like Rita dies, everyone feels invited to the funeral. That's why 10 o'clock is the worst time, she thinks, because to get to the station she has to pass by the bank, and today's the day the pensions are paid, so it's very likely that she'll run into some neighbour or other, or several. Even though the bank doesn't open until 10, just as her train should be arriving at the station and she'll be there, ready to board, ticket in hand, before that, Eleanor knows she's going to have to pass the pensioners lined up outside, as if they're afraid the money will run out, so they have to get there early. She can avoid going past the bank if she walks around the block, but that's something the Parkinsons won't allow. That's its name. Elena knows she hasn't been the one in charge of some parts of her body for a while now, her feet, for example. He's in charge. Or she. And she wonders if Parkinson's is masculine or feminine, because even though the name sounds masculine, it's still an illness, and an illness is something feminine. Just like a misfortune. Or a curse. And so she thinks she should address it as herself, Because when she thinks about it, she thinks, fucking whore illness. And a whore is a she, not a he. If herself will excuse my language.